Hello and welcome to my workshop. Well, this is going to be a fairly short video. It's going to be a review video of some of the past videos I've made. I also put together an index. It's got large thumbnails and a good description of all my past videos, and the link to that is below this video, so be sure and check that out. What you're looking at here is one of the many videos that I put out. This is an indexing setup for my metal lathe. It uses a 48 tooth gear. It works really well. Let me show you a little more about it. It's got red and black marks on it. Of course you can put a lot more on here, but I got it set up for 4. The black is set up for 4 and the red is set up for 6 or 3. And that's so that I can drill hole patterns on the other side. I'll show you what I mean. What I got here is a tool post drill. I've also got a video on that. But I can index this gear in 4 spots. Drill a hole. Of course there's already a hole there. This is just an example. Move it to the next black mark and drill the next one. You get the idea. That's a really handy thing for drilling hole patterns. You don't have to set it up in a mill or have a rotary table. But that's one of the videos I got. Let's check out some more. Of course, most of you that have seen my videos have probably seen my Buckboard Flyer. This is a replica of a 1920 Briggs & Stratton Buckboard Flyer. It was actually street legal. It was a whole lot of fun to build and even more fun to drive. So be sure and check that video out. Right here we got a square column drill press. This is extremely useful. You probably noticed I got a cheap little drill back there for raising and lowering the table. I've got an XY table on it. Move it around however I want. If I want to use it like a standard drill press, I can put an auxiliary table in there. It's got like a 2x4 on the bottom of it. Clamp that in there. I can drill through something that's sacrificial. I can clamp to it. I use that probably more than any other machine in my shop. Anyway, there's a video on that. There's a video on the XY table too. Over here, let me turn the camera. I got a video called A Great Little Belt Sander. It's a 3450 motor and about a 4-inch drive wheel. It'll flat out cut some metal. Extremely handy. Sitting next to that is my buffer grinder stand. Took two cheap little grinders on my old drill press stand. I can switch from one to the other. Very handy. You may have noticed I'm a little tight on space. That really helps me out there. Over here I got a round column mill, and it's actually a fairly decent mill now that I've modified it. This right here is a guide bar so the table doesn't rotate when you raise it up and down. Excuse me, the head. When the head rotates you lose your horizontal reference, but with this guide and lift, again I used a cheap drill to so everything stays lined up accurately, and it's very accurate. I'm pleased with it. Use it all the time. I did a video on this, not the whole router table, but the fence. The fence on this router table stays parallel. Some of you may ask why I need it to stay parallel. Because I've got a sliding mechanism for routing the end of it, and it's nice to have the fence square. Here's something I did a video on. This is a CBN wheel. If you're not familiar with CBN, CBN is about the best. It's not quite as hard as carbide, or maybe equal, I don't know, but it's for grinding high-speed steel. Totally amazing. Cuts fast with very little heat. It's probably an easier way to do that, but I didn't hardly pay anything for that wheel, so I mean, it could have been a direct drive. But that's a 3450 motor, and I needed that to run, or that's a 1750 motor, and I needed this to run about 3450. So that's why I built it like that. Plus I had all the parts. Here's a video in process. I've done a little bit of this off camera. I made a video on it a long time ago. So the video is called a metal lathe, or a wood lathe made like a metal lathe. It's got a cross slide and it's got a carriage. But I'm in the process of converting it to CNC. And Billy at Knox Machining, I'll put a link to his site. He's helping me out with the electronics on it. Hopefully I can figure out how to program it. It's got a magnetic switch on it, a safe. It's going to stop all movement. I'm really getting excited about it. Here's kind of a weird little adventure I had. That is a Canetti Oto Camelback drill press. I restored the drill press, but I've got my square column drill press, so I made this one into a drum sander. Of course, I raised the table up and I've got a dust vent right there. It works fantastic. Here's something I made a video of. These are both white oak. That's been exposed to ammonia for 3 days. And right there is an oil finish. That's a huge difference, eh? Cool thing about it too, inside, I cut that in half after I fumed it. And it's just as dark inside. So that means I can sand that and put a new oil finish on it and the color will be the same. Anyway, that about wraps it up for today. That's just a small sample of what's in my video list. Be sure and check it out. The link's below the video. And thanks for joining me. Be sure and subscribe and hit the bell. That'll make sure you get notifications whenever I put out a new video.